Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Clydeside, Stateside, worldwide, from Atlanta to the world, it's time for you all to rise up and join us. The Scottish Falcons show is back. We are a little bit late tonight, as Des has got a family engagement. What with it being New Year, but I still wanted to get on, say hello. Wish you all a very happy New Year, which is what I'm going to do to kick things off. But as I say, just get on, spend some time with the family, as it were. So a lot of good things to talk about tonight. Set up the sort of season end week, all that good stuff for y'all. So yeah, before we get into it, as I say, just 41 episodes tonight, as we've said before. So a lot to kind of get into to close out the year. But before we do, just get the obligatories out of the way as well. I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. And as this is today now, the first day of 2026, I would like to wish everyone watching a very happy new year. From all of us here involved with the Scottish Falcons, with Atlanta Falcons Nation International, from Atlanta Falcons Nation Stateside, the main hub over in the US as well. As we would say in the old Scots, lang may your Limerick. Or if you want that in universal English, that would be long may your chimney or hearth stink. Basically, may you always have coal to burn. May your home always be warm and homely, especially during the colder months at the tail end of the year. And trust me, we have had a pretty brutal winter here in Scotland, so it's especially present on nights like this. But it warms my heart to, as my Christmas T-shirt says, get on and do some chilling with the normies. So that's what tonight's all about. So as I say, before we get into it, we're going to break it all down in sort of four things. But before we do, obviously, I'm going to do what I always do at the start of a show, which is just obviously shout out back to the chat. So I'm going to take a little look, see who's in the building. What's up, Raymond? Good to see you, my brother. Just me so far tonight, but as I say, if it's a one-man show, then it's a one-man show. It's New Year's, so I know there'll be family and just waiting to tune in and have a good time, talk some Falcons, and I've got a lot of good stuff for you tonight. So we're glad to have you in the building as always, Raymond. As I say, I'm going to start off nice and easy with the nice opening section here of victory. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the Rams game on Monday night. So there was a lot to take out of that, but the key, or sort of one of the main keys, there's your final score right there. Falcons 27, Rams 24. So yet another victory. Now 3 in a row for our Dirty Birds, which you'll love to see. And I'm going to basically boil the game down to 2 stat lines for you. The first is just once again how effective this defense has been, keeping Matthew Stafford to 22 of 38 for 269 yards, 2 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. The 3 interceptions, of course, being the caveat there to a win. Again, we've shown that at times we struggled to hold a lead. They were getting there, but at the end, as I say, AJ Terrell, Jesse Bates, and the rest of that defense came up big, got us another win. And then another stat line, obviously, which I will go into in a little bit more depth later on in the show. 27 carries, 229 total yards, and 2 touchdowns for your boy there, Bijan Robinson, on what was a record-breaking night. And I'll be speaking about that a little bit during the second section, the history section of the show. But yeah, when you want to talk about stat lines, those are the 2 that would really encompass that win for me. As I say, the offense was at times just stellar. Bijan Robinson breaking off a franchise all-time leading 93-yard touchdown run. That got me hype. That got me really excited. Because I've been shouting this guy's name out for, it feels like forever, but probably 7 years at this point. As I've said many times on the show, I'm a Texas Longhorns fan, so y'all can't tell me nothing. I seen this boy coming and I warned you what he was going to be in the pros. So to sit now on my ivory tower and say, nah, I was right. Y'all were warning me of the risk of taking a running back at 8, and I told you at the time this ain't any running back. This kid's going to be special. So yeah, it's definitely something that you love to see. As I say, shout out to Des, my partner in crime. He had said many times these last few shows that there was every possibility that we were going to beat the Rams, that Sean McVay was not going to come out swinging to win that game. So it's just something that we were kind of not too happy to see in some ways. I mean, obviously, we're always happy to see a Falcons win, but as I say, it does come with a little bit of tape around the edges, shall we say? But yeah, it's been an interesting season, and it will finish interestingly as well. And shout out to Sonia down in the chat, dropping the red and blacks. We always love to see. Thank you for joining us, Miss Sonia. Happy New Year to you as well, and to all your family and friends. To everyone down in the chat as well. I hope you're all having a great day. I hope you're all still sober-ish, compass menace enough to come and go with your boy tonight and give me some chat to keep me going. But as I say, I wouldn't say Super Bowl flashbacks, but yeah, like I see exactly what you mean. I mean, Moira said to me during the tail end of the third quarter, I think it was, oh yeah, it's 24-3. It looks like you've got the win. And I turned around and I went, no, not yet. Don't say it, because obviously, as we know, 24-3 would be nothing to us. We've snatched defeat from the jaws of victory many times before. But yeah, I was glad to see that we didn't do that. So we will take the W. I was glad to get it kind of carved out in the end. But yeah, as I say, we knew that Sean McVay wasn't going to give us his A game. His Rams have already made the playoffs as well, and that's something I'm going to talk a little bit about sort of later on in the week, maybe in post game for the Aints game on Sunday. But yeah, essentially that's what this week's going to be. It's just going to be closing things down essentially, but with a caveat of looking forward. And so there's a lot of good stuff coming through the pipeline, Scottish Falcons wise, getting ready for the draft and all that good stuff as well. So yeah, just kind of until then, just kind of seeing what Falcons team turns up on Sunday against these Aints in the Swamp. But again, as I say, they showed us last time that they didn't have too much for us. So I hope that will be the case again on Sunday when we play them in New Orleans. But yeah, as I say, just when you let's just take the band-aid off and get into history, because there's going to be, I warn you all, as there has been a lot of this season, there's going to be some glazing of Bijan Robinson, because he had a record-breaking night, 3 records in one night for Bijan. So I'm going to pull this up here. There's a little glance at the season stats there. 1,445 rushing yards through week 17, 2,255 all-purpose scrimmage yards with 11 combined touchdowns. With all that being said, Bijan last night not only got a Falcons long all-time franchise 93-yard touchdown run, he also broke the franchise record for all-purpose scrimmage yards in a season. That was set all the way back in 1983 by William Andrews. So a generational switch there. And in addition to that, I did also see that he has now eclipsed Barry Sanders and Christian McCaffrey, respectively. And Bijan Robinson is now the player who has the most all-time scrimmage yards in NFL history before the age of 24. So yeah, the records keep falling for this guy. As I say, I can't say enough good things about him. And if you want to fight me down in the comment section, if you're not a Falcons fan, then just come equipped, because I will warn you that I have all confidence that my RB1 is better than yours. I feel like the only guy who can really be in consideration would be Jahmyr Gibbs, if you're a Detroit fan. So if you are a Detroit fan and you're listening, then that's a conversation that we can have. Outside of that, I don't really feel like, I feel like running backs kind of that's your guys at the moment. So I'm glad to have Bijan as an Atlanta Falcon. I have been for since he came here, and I agree with Des. As he said in the past that he wants Bijan to be here for the remainder of his career, and I can't agree more with that. But yeah, there's a lot more history to talk about as well. Go back to this defense as well, because I know I talk a lot about Bijan, but there you go. 5 interceptions on the season now for the X Factor, Xavier Watts, the X Man, if you will. He ain't no mutant, he's my brother. But yeah, 5 interceptions is the most prolific season from a Falcons rookie since Deion Sanders came into the league. So again, a generational switch there as well. And then you throw into the mix, of course, as we always love to do, James Pearson, Jalen Walker, just completely destroying opposing offensive lines. 2 rookies, 1 mission. But I mean, this defense and the way it's switched, just the rate of that adjustment, the fact that we're now really balling out, offenses are starting to really take that front 7 seriously. Brandon Dorless as well, shout out to him, who's really came up this season. As I say, I would still love to take that round 2 nose tackle, just to allow those boys to eat just that little bit more, because I think James Pierce Jr. is a 10 sack a year kind of guy. I think Jalen might be in that mix too, around the 8, 9, 10 sack mark as well. So just as I say, I can't be happier with the draft picks and what they've done, especially because there was a lot of asterisks on starting so many rookies. But yeah, I mean the production I feel speaks for itself at this point. It's just been incredible to see these guys progress. I hope it's something that we can continue to see in 2026 as well and onwards. Because one thing that is something that you need to bear in mind is that we are going to be in an interesting position with a lot of big questions going into the off season. Obviously, we have the Kyle Pitts saga, especially now that he's balling out too. Although he fell away a little bit in the last game, he didn't perform nearly up to the standard that he did in the game before. So just going to throw that out there as well. You've also got Tyler Algier, Drake London's still not been paid. So yeah, a lot of players that are in that sort of mix. You've also got Arnold Ebiketie potentially as trade bait. You're talking about obviously some of these younger guys as well. But I'm going to hold my judgment for now, because a lot of that's going to come down to who your coaches are next season. And that's something that we'll talk about between sort of now and the hatred section of the show, because one thing that I feel has been lacking, and I've made no secret of this, is we have been inadequate in terms of coaching this team. We've not been adjusting nearly well enough to teams that are prepared for what we are bringing to the table. And I feel like it's really not been what we've wanted to see in a lot of cases. Happy New Year, Xavier. Great to see you down in the chat as always, my brother. As I say, we're just shooting the shit, as it were, about all things Falcons, talking a little bit about this victory and some of the NFL and franchise records that have fallen along the way. So it's what you love to see. The team's going in the right way in a lot of ways, but as I just was saying, the coaching, you can have all the talent in the world, but a bad coach, as my partner Des always says, will make an elite player look great, a great player look good, a good player look average, and an average player look subpar. And a fantastic coach to the opposite of that will basically do that in reverse. So looking around the league, there are options. As I say, that's something that we're going to get into probably starting next week. Because don't be surprised, Falcons fans. You know, I have said that I will not always tell you what you want to hear. Sometimes I'll tell you what you need to hear. And we had said that if we win 3 of these last 4 games, which regardless of the result on Sunday, we will have done, even with Zach Robinson possibly being shipped out, you could well be looking at Raheem getting another year. I've seen Mike Smith say that he needs longer than 2 years in Atlanta. I don't necessarily agree with that. I feel like he had tenure in LA, which proved that he wasn't up to the task of being the head coach for a building program like ourselves, who were trying to get over the hump, get into sort of that mix where we're talking about division championship, where we're talking about the possibility of playoff football in the new year and things like that. So and obviously we can talk all night about the coaches that we had through the door, your Mike Vrabels and your Jim Harbaughs and things of that nature as well. So I'm not going to lie now, with the season and the tail lights, so to speak, and tell you that I accepted. Rather that I was happy with. I accepted, but I wasn't happy with the hiring of Raheem Morris from the get go. I feel like, as Des would so adequately put it, he had reached his level of incompetence. Yeah, I feel like OC, he's definitely in an interesting position to be a good OC or DC, but he's not a head coach. And as I say, the win to loss record should show you that as well. Which is why, as I say, coming in, it wasn't the best to look at. So that was my problems with Raheem. And I feel like he's shown a lot this season that at times he's not even been invested in where the team's going. There's been no accountability at times as well, and that's something that's really hampered this team. But with that all being said, 3 victories back to back now shows that these boys, even with the inadequate coaching that we have, there are some dogs on this field that want to fight hard. They want to play hard for the jersey. That want to embody, obviously, that heart to mind to fist mindset that Coach Ilbrick was putting across in the off season and during the pre-season sort of build up and things of that nature. So yeah, as I say, there's a lot that you can take from this season that is good. But ultimately, even with a win, you're sitting with an 8-9 record. Your 4 wins to finish out the season, as it would be, in my opinion, are too little, too late. I feel like it's all it has done has been to show us that what the players are capable of. And as I say, we were giving this team a 12-win ceiling coming into the season and a 10-win floor. We thought we were going to be winning the South, talking about maybe who are we facing in January and things like that. So you know as well as I do, guys, that we know what we've got in terms of obviously players, the skill set that they bring to the table, the attitude, and the self-belief as well. But attitude and self-belief can only get you so far, as I've said many times, and the pieces can only go where the player moves them, so to speak. So if you can't scheme players of that caliber to get more than 8 wins in a season, then it really should be time to go, regardless of your tenure at the club. And that's some of the decisions which I'll get into in the hope section, a little later on in the show. There's a lot of things that I hope to see going forward as well. Great to see you in the chat, Larry. Happy New Year to you and yours. Hope you're all having a very great one. As I say, I wanted to get on regardless of the date and just kind of. I slept through most of the AFN New Year special last night. As I say, being 5 hours ahead of you guys, it was a little late for your boy. I saw in the bells, as we would say in Scotland, so we got to just after 12, and then I headed to bed around about 1 o'clock. But no, you're going to see me all throughout the weekend, and that's what I'll break down just at the tail end of the show too. There's a lot of big things coming from the channel, so you'll have to stay tuned for that. But yeah, as I say, a lot of history getting made in this last game. Obviously, offense and defense both balling out. So yeah, as I said, we need to double down on what we've already got here, and just obviously keep firing on all cylinders, so to speak. And I do see that we've got a special guest joining us, so I'm not going to be on my own tonight. And it's my sister from another mister, First Lady of AFN herself, Miss Maggie. Good to have you on with me. How you doing? Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year. I wanted to say that. I know it's hours ahead, so you was already in bed when we was partying last
My
night.
audio's going out, so I'm going to have to go out and back in again, guys. Just bear with me 2 minutes.
Okay. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Hello, hello. Happy New Year, everybody. I'm going to see who's all in the chat. Raymond, I know he probably said hello to y'all again, but I want to say Happy New Year to everybody. Leo, what's going on, bro? Can you hear me? What's up? What's up? I think he having some difficulties. That's okay.
Hey. Can you hear me now?
You better? Can you hear me now? Uh-oh.
I've got no audio. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I put a chat, put the red and black, you hear me. Or Will. Because I can hear you just fine. There's a tapping or something. It could be me. I don't know. Happy New Year. Can y'all see me? Sitting here watching this Bama game. I hope y'all enjoying your new year. What's y'all resolutions for the year? What y'all think about this Georgia game coming up? Y'all excited, nervous? What's going on, people? What's going on? Let me see what's going on with Will. Let me cut my TV down real quick. Sorry. Who y'all got for this Bama game? Who y'all want to win it?
That's much better. I can hear you now.
Hear me now.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. We've got the Buck Skull Gang in the house. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
It was good to see that win against your boys, and it's good to have you in the house as well. But now that I can hear you, Maggie, as I say, I didn't catch a lot of you guys last night. I was in dreamland by then. But I mean, what have your thoughts been about this season? 3 wins on the trot now, so a lot of good things to take, but we're never entirely happy here, are we?
We're never entirely happy, and I think what everybody's sentiments last night was, it's just kind of all of this one and the same. Another year, no division win, good team, just not coached correctly. So it's like, it's like, where do we go from here at this point? Yeah. Now, of course, we want to win against the Saints, but honestly, whoever wins that division is in the hands of us, whether we lose or not. But it's like, it's crazy that we're back in the same predicament again, where we're on the outside looking in. So someone said, what if we decide to bring the same
South annoys
coaches?
me this year, and it's been a bit of a crazy division because, I mean, I'm getting the questions here from division rivals now. Do we want to win on Sunday? What do we want to see? And with all due respect, I don't think I can ever bring myself as a self-respecting dirty bird to cheer on any other team in the South. So, with all due respect, I can never give you all that love. So no, I want my Falcons to win.
We're not helping. We're just beating the Saints because that's our rival. That's the only reason why that game is going to get won.
We're handling our business. Let the chips fall where they may at this point.
No. But so don't get your hopes up on that one. We're not helping nobody out. We just want to beat.
You're gonna have to go
somewhere else and get that, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I remember saying to my friend, he's a Buccaneers fan, and I remember saying, with all the arguments we've had at the start of the off season, did either of us really think we'd be sitting here going, bro, the Panthers are going to win the South?
No.
What is this league like? Maybe we are in a simulation.
I mean, because everybody had high hopes for this season, especially with a healthy Michael Penix. We was like, okay. We was expecting a lot more than what we got. And a lot of these fans are just kind of fed up at this point. Yeah, we got to beat the Yankees. That's just the bottom lines. Bottom line.
100%. And I think he's a new member to the building, so it's great to see you in there, Mr. Ripley. The talented Mr. Ripley, no less. And a fantastic book as well, if you've not read it. So shout out there. And on that subject, you will hear me starting some narrations and things like that, recitations. So if you've got any books, short stories, anything like that that you would like to hear put across with my sultry Scottish baritone, then you can, of course, drop those down in the comments as well. I'll be starting all that good stuff sort of in the next few weeks on my channel as well. So it's probably going to be The Hobbit to start. You know how I am with my fantasy, Maggie. You guys in the chat, I make no secret that I am a nerdy bird as well as a dirty one. So as I say, you've got all that good stuff to look ahead to. But I mean, how do you feel about that Bijan performance as well, Maggie? Because I mean, that was just delightful to watch.
Well, that's who, Bijan, he's nothing but simply but amazing. And I'm just happy to see that he's developing to who he is, and the fact that he still has years to grow and be better and break more records and just become that superstar that it pretty much are forcing. But if anything, he loves it. He loves the spotlight. He loves the opportunity to make plays and make history for Falcons franchise. I do hope that he remains a Falcon, healthy, upright, for one thing, and just bring in some other pieces that, will stay healthy. Like, we played with a lot of injuries this year. We do still, I would love to see other explosive plays from various receivers and things like that. But that comes down with coaching. But with Bijan, not surprised, excited to see, what's in store for him in the future. But he's going to be up there in the ranks of good conversation as far as great players in the future, I feel.
Yeah. That's the one thing. It's sad to see Tyler Algier go, as we've said many times, but I don't realistically see a situation, especially where Bijan's performing to that level, where we can pay another guy running back one money, because I think he's going to get that elsewhere. So as sad as I am to say goodbye to Tyler, the future in the Falcons backfield has been there for all to see for the last sort of 2-3 years at this point. I mean, if it for the gamers as well, you don't get to be 90, 95 rated in Madden for nothing. So he's obviously one of those guys. But yeah, I feel like some people are getting sick of the way me and Des glaze him, but I feel like, how can you not at this point?
He's the guy. It's like, you can't do nothing. He was kind of like, how we used to glaze over Julio Jones when he was, doing his thing. He was just that guy just to watch. Somebody said something interesting. It was Mick Will. He said, as long as he stays off the Madden cover, we good.
Oh yeah.
Stay off the
Madden cover. There's a long and tenured history about why that can go horribly, horribly wrong for you. Like, oh, that was a good point. Like, and even with Madden now, obviously with them extending the deal for another, I think it was through 2028 or 2030. So be prepared for more mediocrity from the Madden franchise. That's all I'll say there. Because if you've only got one game, then you're never going to get the competition you deserve. And shout out to the chat again, because we've got another new member of the family, it looks like, down in the chat. So shout out to Falcon Sheezer. Happy New Year to you, brother. Yeah, as I say, there's a lot going on Falcons wise, even with the season winding down. But one thing I did want to get your opinion on, Maggie, is how are you feeling with the whole coaching situation? If Zach Robinson goes now, with all these obviously wins to tail out the year, do you see Raheem Morris staying for one more year, or how do you feel from there as to where we're going? Oh, okay, it's Raymond. Sorry about that. In that case, you're not new to the family, but you're very welcome all the same.
So, as far as how I feel about the coach, well, Raheem staying, I'm trying to think realistically because of what they're trying to do in the background is, bring in Matt Ryan for whatever role he's going to take, because they're not just going to tease Matt Ryan's conversation without being serious about it. We just not, because for one thing, he already said he wasn't going to be a coach. So it had to be something significant for him to want to possibly agree to having some type of role here. Because have anybody been watching, he's doing his little recruiting thing. He's just kind of pitching for coaches and things. He can't say but much as an analyst, but as a podcaster, I guess he has a little bit more leeway to say how he feels about this team. And I think that he feels that there is a need for at least somebody that's familiar with at least getting the team to contention of playoffs and Super Bowl, can whisper in another veteran to another veteran's ear. Because depending on what happens with Kirk Cousins, I don't know. But the reality is, I don't see Raheem leaving because the team is trying to, they're fighting for their own jobs, but as well as Raheem is trying to fight for his. If anything, I see the offensive coordinator might be going, but I don't know. I think it's going to be a third year for Raheem, like they kind of gave all the other head coaches, 3 years of charm, I guess. So, yeah, I don't get your hopes up too much, and don't be surprised that Raheem is the man come next season.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I feel like there is definitely some fat going to be trimmed, so to speak. I feel like the guys to go, if I was going to go and definitively put my money on it, I would say Zach Robinson goes, and this senility's got me again. The special teams coordinator is definitely gone, because I feel like special teams is where really we've disappointed most for me, especially because you gave a quarter of the 53-man roster to players who would be effective special teams players. So if the special teams aren't performing, I really start to boil it down to these picks that you made all the way back at the start of the off season weren't the guys. Jamal Agnew, who we've now cut as the returner and things like that. The hits haven't been there when they should be. So it's been, as I've worded it to you guys a few times, it's been death by 1,000 cuts, just a lot of little tiny things. And yeah, at this point, to beat teams like Los Angeles, I don't care if he doesn't give you an A game. Even a B team Los Angeles Rams is a solid squad. So if you change offensive coordinator and if you change special teams coordinator, then yeah, okay, give Raheem one more year. But yeah, change the guys around him, because that's not the fit. That's kind of where I'm at with it. Are you kind of in the same boat with that? I mean, if Raheem does stay, we'll allow it to a point, but something's got to give. So to speak.
Well, yeah, you can't bring the same coaching staff back. If you're gonna keep one, you gotta shed weight of the others, like our weaker points, like you said, special teams. That's it. That's a given. That's a given. If anything, TJ, he got too many hats, so it's like figure out what his role is going to be singly, not where he's stretched thin everywhere. I'm not understanding it, but yeah, I would say if we did shed the coordinators, they need to be veterans. It's no more of those, first time charmers. We're trying to figure it out. Rookies at that. We need somebody that's proven leaders that knows how to run offense, that knows how to run special teams. Get some pieces that can be on alongside of Drake London, because yes, I love the Bijan story, but we do have other receivers out here that aren't getting touches half the time. That you can kind of spread it out a bit. So it just depends on, of course, who Kirk Cousins is going to be, because I feel like they probably going to hold on to him, because who wants to volunteer and take Kirk Cousins?
I
Who
don't
wants
see
him?
anyone stepping up at this point, to be honest.
Right.
But
So he's
it
our
comes with a caveat, the
glorified
Matt Ryan
starter
thing.
slash backup possible.
Mhm. And it's an interesting question when you kind of dice all that down, because I mean, taking what Sonia's saying here, with Matt Ryan not going to sit in the front office and things like that, I feel like he's going to be more involved in football operations than what he would, as you say, as a professional podcaster now, or analyst. He's not going to give everything away. So I think he'd be more involved in this passing game, than what we would maybe be privy to. And I think off the back of that, he's going to have, if he does come on board, maybe a hand in who that new QB, bridge QB is going to be, and overseeing the competition between him, whoever that guy might be, if it's Trey Lance, if it's Malik Willis, whoever that guy might be, and then Penix once he comes back from the injury. But yeah, I think I would love for Matt Ryan to come back, because I feel like, having played the quarterback position, he knows what he's looking for. Even if he's not going to be in charge of the offense or of the passing game per se, I feel like he's going to have a hand there, given that that's what his skill set was. And I've already made this apparent to you too, Maggie, is I didn't like having TJ Yates in charge of the receiving game, given that he was A, a quarterback, and B, had failed the assignment the last time we gave it to him. So again, I feel like get a QB in charge of your QBs and a receiver in charge of your receivers.
Right.
It's just common sense to me. But again, it's something that we'll need to look at addressing in off season if we really want to compete with some of these.
And I'm gonna
real
say this
perennial.
because I feel like you said, let Matt Ryan have a little bit more involvement in the football day to day of operations of the Falcons, especially with his leadership role that he had when he was a. So it's like, is we getting the best of both? He was the one that led those player meetings. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he came in first thing. It's like, look, we're gonna sit down here and watch film. We're gonna do this. Someone said it last night. They said they feel like maybe defensively they're doing that, holding meetings together as a team without the
Mm-hmm.
coaching and kind of just taking it, because you can just see a difference in the leadership
Mm-hmm.
over there. But I don't really feel
Yeah.
that that's occurring on the offensive side of the ball, where, I mean, everybody's doing their own individual workouts and, what have you. And then when they come to practice, they doing their thing. But I don't think there is a Kirk Cousins that say, hey, man, I see him buddying up on on the, joking about his kids and but I don't see him like, yeah, we sitting here, gonna have a meeting about what went wrong, where it went. Now he's very vocal. I can say that. He feels like he explains what's happening behind the scenes better than our own head coach. So if you want to hear what's going on, you listen to Kirk Cousins, see what he's talking about, way he, as a veteran, of course, strategize, what needs to happen, what didn't go well in his press conferences. So it's like he interject very well. But it's like, I need that to be influence on your team as well, where you help your players. You
Yeah.
lead your players
And
and
I would
say, hey,
also say
I'm that
off the back of
example.
that it doesn't have to be the quarterback who's the leader. I feel like a lot of the times, just because of obviously the way the position goes, obviously being the key man on that offense, the guy through which every play flows, it's natural for the QB to be a leader. But I feel like if you've got weapons and you've got experienced players who know the game, who know the system that you're trying to run, there's no reason why, especially for the more experienced guys, like at this point, Bijan, Drake have been in the system a couple of years. There's no reason why they can't then step up into that leader role. I feel like they're trying their best to do that, which is what I like to see. But again, that's what brings me back to what my main point of frustration has been this season, Maggie, and that's been, as Des puts it, Raheem's propensity to speak a lot and say nothing. We really are in no more clearer light after the press conferences than we were before. And that's something that's really been bugging me this season with him. I feel like he could be a little bit more forthright, because to the fans who, like you and I, who do our due diligence, who watch this team week in, week out, multiple days of the week, you can't really hide, or you can't really not admit where your shortcomings are, because it's not just us that can see it; the rest of the league can see it too. And that's where I feel like Raheem needs to look at himself long and hard in the mirror this off season too, especially if he's coming back into the fray for 2026.
Let me ask you this question. Do you think the team is playing for him more so playing for themselves, or what do you think is happening here? Because this seems like everybody is gelling at the very end of the season.
It's tough, and I feel at this point I'm leaning more towards they're playing for themselves because of the fact that the team's underperformed to this point in the season. I feel like a lot of these guys feel like, no, we know we've got the bodies in place to make plays, to get wins in big, highly contested games against some of the better teams in the league. So I feel like it's been more about stepping up and making that sort of statement, because I feel like a lot of this season's been, and again, just trying to set expectations here. Next season will probably be much of the same. It's going to be trying to define who we are as a franchise. And I feel like that's more by playing for themselves. It will save Raheem Morris, but I feel like in the off season, if they're looking at this, then they need to go, right, I see what you boys are doing. I need to kind of get on the bus, so to speak. We can't have this clock watching and things like that, especially when guys are out there busting their balls.
Oh my God, him and that time management, timeouts when it's not appropriate. I just don't understand this man. We still having issues with that.
Because when Detroit missed the playoffs, I can't remember if I actually put it in the group chat. I think I did, where I went like, Dan Campbell to Atlanta. At least that guy knows how to scheme an offense, and manage a clock. So, but at this point, like, there's a lot of guys at this tenure that have shown that they can manage a clock better than Raheem Morris. So, I don't know, but I'd like to think that they were trying to kind of show solidarity for the guys behind the scenes and things like that nature, because I feel like a lot of the problems are organizational, not team based, and that was something that I had sort of added in for the hope section as well. But we may as well just talk about it now, as the whole not just the Matt Ryan thing, but also bringing in Sportology, an external sort of company to look at the day-to-day operations of the franchise,
right? It needs to be
football ops, all that stuff.
Right. From the recruiting on down, like, who's communicating with who, whose role is what here? Because why is Rich McKay in the press box at a game in between Arthur Blank and Terry?
Especially because he's not involved in football operations.
He's not involved, but he's in there when the game is playing, and it's like, okay, now it's getting to the point where it's like, no, it's just a little too overkill. We clearly know what you have going on, and why is this man?
It's frustrating, but all I would ask for is a little more clarity in 2026, because I feel like it makes our job as content creators harder, because you're never quite sure how to put it across, because we don't know where we are in a lot of cases. But yeah, and as I say, it's more poignant when you come into a week like this week because of all the games to finish out the season with. As I say, we can go back over the situation in the South and all that, but I mean, is there a better or arguably a worse way to finish your season than playing these Aints? But yeah, let's talk about the South, because as we all know, Maggie, it's not the AFC North. It's not the AFC West. It's not one of these divisions where you're looking at it every season going, you've got a 3-team race here. This is going to be tight.
Yeah,
this is going to be close.
You can't even predict it. This one, you can't. Like, I hate to say it, but we're probably the worst of. Like, our division is laughable. I can tell you that. Nobody comes to the South and say, "Oh shoot, I'm finna play somebody in the South, and I'm afraid of that. No.
Mhm.
So-
Like, and this was what I felt like was another downside to the season, as he came right out and said it. If the teams were going to fear the South, it would be because of guys like Bijan Robinson, but they're not going to fear them if you come right out and go, yeah, by the way, our offense is Bijan Robinson. Like, we're pretty sure you already knew that, but aye, that's what you've got coming. So if you can prep for
right.
that, and he's already shown that he can't adjust. So yeah, we've shown that ATL runs through number 7. And if the number 7 bus ain't running on time, then Atlanta's pretty much at a standstill. And that's why we're 7 and 9. It's not any other reason other than you're telling people not enough of the right things and you're telling people too much of the wrong things.
Right.
Which is why, yeah, you heard me how angry I got a couple of weeks ago. I was done with Raheem, but obviously the
He's
light
still
of day
here.
and everything like that, and a few weeks of seeing what this team's really made of, has made me like, yeah, okay, I can be a little bit more forgiving. I'm not a complete monster. I have my moments, but nah. As you say, when it comes to hate week, you really think about what you've got. But I mean, I don't know about you, Maggie, but I don't see, especially after that first game, I don't see that the Saints have got anything to stop us. Do you?
No, and then of course, but we're figured it out at the wrong time. But of course, it's gonna always be where we've played them. Like we want to beat them, That's just
Yeah.
obvious. So we're prepared for this, especially being the last game of the season and everything else. What at this point, the beat them is just like the icing on the cake for me. Like I don't care what our record is. As always, if we can at least win against our rivals, I'm happy about that. But of course,
Yeah.
I would love to be trying to make it to the playoffs. But it is what it is. But of course, if we lose to the damn Saints at the end of the year, it's like, you know what?
Yeah.
This team, how can you go into the off season off of that? Like, I don't care what it does for the
totally.
Bucks. I don't care what it does for the Panthers. I don't care about that. I mean, they're going to be one and done anyway. I'm not worried about that.
I don't see us an NSC South team pushing very far into the playoffs at
No,
all.
I don't. I
To
don't.
be quite honest, and I can see Sonia's point that if Mr. Blank doesn't bring Raheem back, if he does, then he doesn't want to win. I can completely see that narrative. That's one that I have been pushing, as you've seen and heard over the last few weeks, is that this isn't a coach that wants to win.
I think that's more of a passionate fan perspective of things, and of course I get it too. I don't want to see him there. It's like you lose your fan base, you lose, but do you lose the players? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because if they do bring somebody in to kind of look at the day-to-day of the operations of the Falcons, and it's like, you know what, there are some pinpoints that needs to work here. This needs to happen, this needs to happen, that needs to happen. This is how you build a championship team. Well, playoffs. We're just trying to make the playoffs at least, win a division one step at a time. But you can win you can build a team around a coach, as long as the surrounding pieces around him that's coordinating and strength and conditioning, coaching, special teams. Of course, defense got to really gel and improve even more. It's really gonna come down to the strength of the defense holding us for us to come in and be able to tool the offense a little bit more better with different coordinators. But if you guys want to make a statement, cut it all the way off.
Mm-hmm.
Now
that's
to me,
a lot of.
But you got to think about it though. But it's like we keep changing head coaches though. Is that healthy for teams' development? The revolving door coaching
that is
staff.
hard to say, as you say, Maggie. Like if you're cutting ties after 2 years, when your average time to kind of see that is 3 or 4, then yeah. But again, it's going to be seeing what's to come in the off season. A lot of that's going to be going to let us know where we stand going into 2026 is who's going to be leading the charge, so to speak. Happy New Year,
That's a
Miss
good question
Christie.
from
Another one of your ladybirds in the building.
he said if Carolina
always
wins, that we
fly deep for
win,
your girls.
or are we second in division? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how
Yep.
that works. Are we second in division?
Yes, because Carolina have head-to-head over us. We have head-to-head differential over Tampa Bay because we split it, but Carolina beat them. So it would be Carolina 1 and us at 2, Tampa Bay at 3. But again, it just goes to show you it's been a crazy, crazy division.
That's crazy. Like to be coming in at 2 and not even touching.
But it goes back to my point that another one of my points I've been making all year. If we really want to talk about being a playoff team, run the South first. It's not the hardest division to win, so let's start making a habit.
Apparently,
of doing that.
Is. Apparently, it is a hard division to win because everybody don't want to win it.
I mean, we've got
one of those,
the second coming
the fight of the
in
losers.
Carolina.
The last man standing. It's one of those survivor moles, hair dryer.
Yeah,
in the closet.
It reminds you of that old Spider-Man meme where they're all just pointing at each other, and it's like who messed up the South?
Right, you did it.
Nobody wants to take credit.
Right,
but it's been a fun year, nevertheless, because as I say, with everything that's gone on, and we did want to, obviously, me and Des were kind of like, nah, it's time to put some wings on this thing. So that has been one thing I've been thankful for this season, has just been kind of the love and support for all of y'all for the kind of international expansion and all that good stuff. So that's why we've kind of pushed so hard to make sure that there was a lot of good stuff coming, and there will continue to be. But we agree with that, Sonia. We can't continue drafting good players and then not coaching them appropriately. Because, I mean, there's another great class, depending on what positions you're actually talking about. A lot of people are saying it's not very deep, but in the positions we are looking at, wide receiver, corner, nose tackle, there are some boys there that can be had. So, yeah, Sonia couldn't be any more right. We need to get the coaching situation sorted for these guys going forward if we really want to compete, and that's just the way it is, Maggie.
Yeah, I agree with that. What's up, Chris? Rise up. It's just a matter of what, because I can say one thing. I always, even though despite the season, I always look at the positive of what comes from the season. So I like to, when everything's said and done, I like to kind of analyze, like we can do a big deep dive into what went well, what didn't, and what improved. Because if anything, I'm like, yeah, despite the record, but if I can see an improvement in my team going into a direction of, okay, I see the potential there. Give and take, not all teams that have become playoff contenders, Super Bowl contenders, started off hot. They had to build, they had to grow, they had growing pains, so it's like, but how long does it take to develop a team like that?
Yeah. And that's kind of the worry, isn't it? Because
and
we're starting to look at
who has
offensive
the
line
patience
and things
for
like
that
this
type
again.
of thing? So do you start over? Like, do you what do you do here? Like, if we go into another year with similar players, let's say we keep our head coach, and then it's the same results of next year, then what?
Yeah. Because there's a lot of things, a lot of interesting questions. The offensive line hasn't really been there this season because of injury. That's going to be different next season. But again, those guys are getting older. 28 years old, 30 years old. Jake Matthews is now, I think, 32, 33. So, I mean, you're starting to think about, our tackles are starting to get up there now, and we have really cashed in a while back. But I feel like for too long almost we've been saying trust the process, or let Terry cook, and I've been very understanding and very
You can only
I've
be
let
so
that kind of whole
patient.
narrative play out, and it's.
Right.
I feel like I'm sure you agree. It's time to get some wins now, and start really proving who we are as a team before a lot of these players start getting over the hill.
Flustered, and it's like I don't know. I don't see us a purpose of me being here. It doesn't look like we're winning, so they're going to be wanting to. I'm ready to go. I mean, might be some loyalty here. Some players want to be here, but you don't want to lose their momentum at this point. They want to play. You can tell they want to play. They like playing with each other. But if you lose their hunger and their motivation, bringing them mediocre play calling and everything else, lack of coaching next year. So it's like your off season is going to make or break you at this point.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting.
A great way to put it, because when you're talking about next season and you asked the question about whether those wins were for the players or for the coaching staff, and if the players are winning that for themselves, that is where the question really falls on whether or not you bring Raheem back, is what is his relationship with the team actually like. If it's a case of, no, we're going to double down for you, coach, we're going to get you these fucking wins, and that's the case, and he wants to come back with the right changes, fantastic. If that relationship isn't there, the communication isn't there from coach to player and back again, then he needs to be gone, because the communication needs to be better, top down, from Arthur Blank all the way down to the long snappers and the punters. The communication has been a key drawback to why we are where we are this season for me. So that's one thing. Whoever your coach is, that needs to improve if we want to start really being a challenger for me.
Yeah, and it needs to be where it's not the buddy system. You got to bring some. If you're gonna switch it up, you got to bring some proven folks and not people that you want to give a chance. I'm sick of bringing in coaches that I just want to give it a shot. Like we are a team that, come on, a few pieces on in, like we can really be something if we can get defense and offense on point. Where we protect our quarterback. Pass rush gets better, special teams gets better. Defensively, we can only go but up. Like keeping them healthy and everything else. Like with those rookies, I know everybody was like, "Oh, they griping about not having the first round," but it was worth it of who we picked up, and we're gonna see that in the long run. And defenses win championships, but you also got to have your supporting cast of your offense that's going to, when they get a little flustered and tired, which we do always see signs of our defense getting a little tired.
Yeah. And that's where I'm at the stage at. That's the drawback to only having 5 picks instead of 7, is we are at the stage now where a lot of those starters are solidified now, and we're starting to look at depth guys. And if Mooney had progressed, we'd be saying, maybe we can bring in a wide receiver 3, but
we got to improve that depth. We got to improve that depth. Oh, we got to.
And don't even get me started on the O-line depth, because how many times have we been cursing those guys up front this year? Like, apologies in all due respect to Elijah Wilkinson, because it's been a long season for you, my brother. And shout out to another one of the brothers, Georgia, Texas boy down in the chat. Happy New Year to you from all of us here at AFN, AFNI. I hope you're all having a great night. As I say, with having missed last night, I wanted to double down and just get on and say hello, Happy New Year, and have a little...
We almost went to the countdown, but my kids was like, "Come on, mama, you've been on that show the whole time." So we was going to bring it in, but the last maybe 20 minutes, it was like, "Get off of that computer." So, but we almost made it, because it was going to be just a 2-hour show. We end up drinking and having a good time, and it just ended up extending it. And the folks that stood there, but I said we might do that next year, because not everybody is outside in the streets. It was just safer to be with our Falcons family last night. It was too cold to go out and do anything.
It makes a lot of sense. It's a scary, scary world we live in. And that's why I put in my New Year's message that rather than happy, as important as happiness is, we would rather that you had a safe Christmas and New Year and a hopeful 2026, because you're never quite sure what's around the corner. And as such, I feel like it's a great tradition. So if you guys enjoyed that last night, if you've enjoyed spending a little bit of time with us tonight, we know also that not everyone has friends and family around this time of year. So, but you'll always have family here on AFNI. So if you want to come on, if we've got time, and if you guys have time, we have the space for you. So come on board and have a chat, and to that end, Maggie, if you want to, if you could do me a favour and maybe even drop the link down in the comments.
Let's do it.
For the last sort of half hour or whatever, if anyone wants to jump on and join
Let's invite the guest on. I'm for it. We had a couple of people join us last night. Shout out to Jerome and Georgia. I think he calls Georgia Clay. He was awesome too. So shout out to the people. Coach, Big Low was in the chat. Blackberry was in the chat. Everybody that stopped through last night, and who also joined me on the panel. It was great. So I'm going to put this link in the chat so y'all can jump on and say hey to us and just give us your, give us your good, bad, and the uglies, and then, what you're looking for the next year. And honestly, it doesn't even have to be season. It don't even have to be about the Falcons. It can be about just personal.
Why not? That's a great place to segue, because as I say, we've covered the victory, we've covered the history, we've covered a little bit of the hatred. So let's get into that last little section, which is just hope. So I'm going to broaden that, as Maggie says. It's a great way to do it. So we'll throw it open to y'all. It doesn't have to be Falcons. It can be, you want to talk New Year's resolutions with us, we can do that. If you want to talk about what you want to see in 2026 just out of life. As I say, we can always pull up the couch if you want to do that too. But yeah, by all means, as I say, links down there in the chat. So
Indiana just scored.
Come join your family.
Okay, then it's 10-0 Indiana over Alabama. So I've been watching that. I hope Bama lose. Yeah,
Alabama dynasty's dead. I've been saying it for a couple of years now. From my I'm a realistic fan, Maggie, so I don't think my team's going to get any respect until we beat your dogs. Like, as good as Texas is, and everyone knows we're good, we want to get to great, and great teams beat great teams. So until we beat Georgia, no one's looking at the Longhorns right now, which is frustrating. But we all credit to the dogs. Like, what you guys have built in Georgia over the last 2-3 seasons has been fantastic. And if you need any more proof of that, just ask the Green Bay Packers. Seeing as they just seem to be just stockpiling Georgia defensive talent at the moment. But
why
there's
not?
a reason for that. Like,
they had me a little nervous early in the season, though. And that's where my hope comes in. That we do what we need to do this game, and because I would love to go ahead and repeat. Well, now it's not a repeat because we skipped a year, but it'd be nice to get another one.
Yeah,
just because the Bama dynasty is falling.
Yeah. And I've always loved the narrative as well of keeping the Georgia boys home. So I mean, I've been jumping on Auntie Pam's bandwagon for most of the season. I feel like if you want to bring in a bridge that can compete, I like Haynes King, that kid out of Tech. He's got a good arm. I feel like, obviously, I think he's quite probably first round talent. But I mean, if he falls, I wouldn't turn him down. But as I say, with the amount of free agents that are available, I'm using what draft capital I have for sake of depth. So, as I say, nose tackle, another corner maybe, certainly another receiver, at least until Mooney, because I don't know if Darnell's fully 100% even now. So he really needs to figure out where he is health-wise for me to really say whether or he's going to be a 2 or a 3. And again, offensively, we need to figure out what's happening with guys like Kyle Pitts. Ideally, me and Manuel over at the Atlanta Falcons Fandemic were discussing this recently. The 2026 franchise tag for a tight end is just a little bit shy of $15.9 million. So it's a lot cheaper than what paying Kyle Pitts would be. So I feel like we use the tag on him. We can then let him play another season under the Falcons banner. Either we figure out a way to pay him, or we give him another year to showcase to another team. Here's what I bring to the table. Because, I mean, no one's going to complain, especially if he's going to bring out more games like he did against last week. If we can see more 3 touchdown games out of him, then I think we're going to be happy. But as I say, it just gives us a little bit of freedom rather than maybe going straight into a Trey McBride level contract or a paying him like a Travis Kelce or a George Kittle or something like that, when he's not necessarily proven as yet to be up to that standard.
Speaking of, though, it's a possibility somebody might want to pick him up, though, because what is the announcement for Kelce? Did he say that he's continuing, or
nothing
it's kind of a rumor
yet.
thing?
Last I seen, all he said was, I'm going to finish out the year with best intentions, with my highest level of play, and I'm going to explore that talk when the time comes. So, but I mean, that would be assuming playoffs, but KC's out now, right? So there's no playoffs for those guys.
No.
Right. So, yeah, it may be end of an era. Because I expected KC to get there. As I say, I've got a lot of love for Patrick Mahomes. I think definitely still, even though it's not been one of his years, I feel like he's still a top 3 talent QB-wise. Although for me, and you can attack me in the chat, because this is something I've had out with a lot of people recently, my top 3 would be Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and then Joe Burrow, because I'm not a big Lamar guy, and you can get at me for that. But as I say, like, if you're on a bad year, I don't know if Kelsey's got enough in the tank to come back. Personally, I think he knows what side his bread's buttered on now, so to speak. So I think he wants to sail it right off into the sunset as Mr. Swift. But no, it's been a fun year all round. As I say, I've had the most fun just getting on and sharing the shows with you guys. It's been kind of, like, as I say, a typical Falcon season. Lots of ups, lots of downs, trials and tribulations, and all that good stuff. But with the season end week, as we like to say, there's a lot of big announcements coming. So what you can expect from your boys is we'll be doing on Saturday. We'll do the pre-game just after the regulators. Sorry, not the regulars. That would be coach with the Saturday bird feeder. So we'll be on a little bit after that to do some pre-game for the Aints and just put across again how much we hate them. That's one of the most fun parts of the season, is just reminding New Orleans how much they suck. And no matter how bad it gets being a Falcons fan, it could always be worse. It could always be a whole lot worse. So we'll be doing that on Saturday. And then I'll take any advantage to share out my new logos. So we'll be doing the last kettle session of the season on Sunday too for the Aints game. So Maggie, if you do get some time, as always, you're more than welcome to join us as well. Same to you, Ladybirds, to the rest of you guys in the chat. Anybody that wants to jump on Saturday or Sunday, just let me know. Socials will be at the end, as they always are, if you don't know where to find us by now. But yeah, before we do go, I'll put it onto the Q&A section. But while anyone's getting their last minute questions and comments, is there anything else you want to kind of cover, Maggie, or what's coming? Because I know you and the Ladybirds are back
what's
now
coming
and
for
things
me.
like that.
Well, the Ladybirds, we took a break because I had some family issues going on that I needed to kind of handle. So I said I was just going to start it back up at the top of the year, which is now the new year. So no, Lady Birds of AFN is not finished. We're taking a quick little break because quite a few of the ladies are going through some things. Miss Witt, she has the flu now. She done lost someone, so she's been kind of dealing with some grief there. Bree, she kind of was finishing up school. It's a lot of things that's going on with the Lady Birds that we just got life happening. So we'll be back. Definitely want to do at least another show. Probably after this Saints game, we probably have some things to talk about. We'll probably be back for that. But I ended up going on Ty's show. Let's talk about it. It was me and him. And there's a lot of people that were expressing that they like to see me and Ty kind of do our thing. We got pandemic coming in. So I may be doing, I don't know how I'm gonna navigate it, but I might be doing a double header, like doing a Lady Birds on Tuesday and then let's talk about it afterwards. That's gonna be fairly interesting. What's up? What's up, pandemic? How you doing?
Yeah, what's going on, my brother E? Good to see you, and you're looking sharp. All dressed up to the nines for the New Year special.
Hey, oh, family, how y'all doing?
Is this for the Bulldogs? Is this for the Bulldogs at 8 o'clock?
Of course not. You see where it is. Look at
it.
Your boy suited, booted, and ready to go.
Oh Lord, no!
Oh no, I've been having it out with Don these last few weeks as well. I'm just like, your Michigan Wolverines ain't got nothing for us. So we've been having that conversation in the back. You've got to love college football as well, man. And that's something we've got a lot of coming up as well. We're going to be touching a lot more on college football because Des hasn't picked his team yet. As I say, he didn't want to go right into Georgia now that y'all are a dynasty. We don't need accused of being glory hunters, but as we say, we're Falcons fans, so how could anyone ever accuse us of being glory hunters?
I was in here and I was kind of like halfway into, my family gathering got here going, and I was listening to you guys' show, and I'm trying to listen to the people that's here, and I'm like, I got to jump on because I heard you mention about the conversation you and I had about Cal Pitts, right? But I've had time to sit back and look at it, and now I'm not so sure I want to keep Cal Pitts. And Maggie hinted on it about other teams expressing interest in him. And now that Kelsey might be possibly trying to retire, the Chiefs might be opening up that door again because it got opened up earlier. So, but now that Kelsey's retiring, they might be trying to, the ball might be in our court, as far as grabbing picks or whatever. But I was watching a kid on YouTube today. The kid got the receiver. Well, he's a receiver / tight end. He's not as dynamic as Cal Pitts was in college, but he's just as good, if not maybe better. Because this kid blocks lights out.
And that's what we need. We need him to be blocking and somebody that can come in here cheap, and they can just pretty much fill in for what we're missing with Cal Pitts.
Yeah. See, and let's be honest. I mean, we could probably fleece a first out of KC for Pitts, which would negate the people who are complaining about not having a first in 2026.
Right.
So if this is the time to move on from Pitts, KC or Pittsburgh are probably your best two options. But I mean, if they're going to give us a first or maybe even a like neither of those teams are going to the postseason, so it would be a decently low second or a decently high second, I should say. So yeah, I mean, we could make it work. And as you say, Emmanuel, with Pitts falling off in the last game, we need more. We need more of that display of what sort of caliber player you are to earn that sort of dollar. So completely with you there.
Yeah, and the reason I'm so scared of this move with this decision with Cal Pitts because every player that of his caliber that has went into this his last year contract season and they want to ball out, they want to go 125% as opposed to game pass. They was only giving 75, and they want to ball out their contract year, get that big money. Then the following year they disappear again. So I don't want to go down that road. We've had enough drama for one season. I mean, we don't want to go down. Atlanta's not used to this drama thing, so we just need to go ahead and make the decision as quickly as possible. Kyle Pitts possibly gain a pick or two from Kansas City if they become interested again. Because we still have Joshua Simon on the practice squad. We still got Charlie Warner. We still got Teagan.
We got quite a few players that we haven't really seen play that as well.
Yeah, I mean, we've had Chris Blair with his knock. I've been saying a lot about Nick Nash. We've got a Triple Crown winner sitting right there. So, I mean, if we could elevate someone like Nash, and then Vinny and I broke it down, just how much depth there is in terms of wide receiver.
Right.
Like, if you want to, like, if you're playing it the way I would, personally, I would take a nose round 2.
Yeah.
Probably the kid from Tech, Lee Nelson. He is an absolute animal.
Yeah.
So that's who I would take in round 2. Round 3, I would probably be looking at receiver, and there's still a lot of great guys there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like a lot of it's just kind of doubling down, trying to get the right guys in the right spots to shore up what we already have.
Yeah.
But as Maggie and I said, and I'm sure you agree, Emmanuel, it's only your players are only as effective as the schemes that you can put them in.
Right.
So if the coaches aren't good enough, then
we
are not going to be good enough again.
Yeah, because I mean, it's so many receivers that can give us the production that he give us. No, they won't hit 1,000-yard mark, but at the same time, they'll give us 500-600 yards, which from Charlie Warner is easy for him. We just have to we just have to scheme it up, right? And if we can get Kyle Pitts for maybe a second or third round pick, maybe depending on how desperate Kansas City Chiefs are, we can use that pick to go grab us a big man for the middle, defensive tackle for the middle. And I mean, to actually get ourselves back in the, and able to grab somebody that we actually need. So we do got to plug that middle up. I mean, something has to happen. I mean, we regardless of how well that defense played, even in our best game, that middle still got exposed. And I would think that the best defensive game we had was against probably the Bills, and they exposed us on, in that middle. So I mean, we still have some issues to address. I mean, no defense is going to be perfect, right? But at the same time, when teams find a way to exploit your weaknesses, they're going to take advantage of it, and there will be that one spot that hurt your team, which for us, it showed because we played lights out against the Bills, but that middle showed that the Bills were able to stay in the game by running the ball up the middle. And
right.
I mean, it's one of them things that we got to.
I feel like it's down to your schematics as well, because when you're talking about one bad thing we've not done defensively is we've not stacked the box all year.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of complaints too that Ulbrich loves his all-out blitz, but if you've got a forefront, the likes of obviously Walker and Pierce on the outside, and then in the middle you're talking Dorless, and if we get a Nelson or a player of that caliber, what a 330-pound nose would allow those guys to do, you would essentially be able to mix and match. So you could have your extra linebacker in coverage with Jalen Walker, because we all know the guy can cover passes as well as blitz. So what you're allowed to do in terms of flex for that defense and different 12-man personnel, different ways of mixing it up with your nickel, your dime, blitz schemes and cover packages. It opens up so much more when you've got that rock in the middle.
And see that rock,
again, it all boils down to the coaches as well, and whose guys are we getting? You know what I'm saying? So
exactly. I mean, one of the plays that happened against the Rams was when Caden Ellis found himself trying to be in coverage 40 yards down the field. That should not happen. I mean, a linebacker shouldn't be 40, 50 yards down the field trying to cover a receiver, and we didn't get no pressure on the quarterback. That pressure has to come in. I mean, if a quarterback has enough time to throw a pass 40 yards down the field on a linebacker, there's no pressure coming whatsoever. So we have to change that. We got to change it. We got to get that pressure up the middle. And I mean, this defense. I mean, Albrecht has his game plan. I can see it. But he does one or two pieces. I don't know if Mike Hughes is going to be returning. I don't think so. I think we're going to finally move on from him. He's getting older, and the money that he's making, and the way Kobe is playing, that kid is going to be great. He's great. He's going to be great. I mean, he got his feet. He really got his feet in the water when he got put out there on against Tampa Bay. What is his name? I don't know why I can't remember his name.
When you start bringing in guys.
Yeah, when he got put on Evans, he got introduced to the big game, to the lights real quick, and he did a pretty good job considering he's never played, somebody of Evans caliber, And you talk about one of the best.
And I mean, that's what we like to say as well. It was iron sharpening iron. The more you go against elite guys, and the more you get schooled.
I love it.
That's exactly what it is. Every day is a school day. Every rep is a chance to basically, like, I'm not being funny. If I'm that corner and it's like, yeah, you're going against Mike Evans tonight, that is one of those guys that makes you go, oh shit, okay,
I need to bring my game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's a great opportunity that he's playing these guys year one. He's only going to get better, and the next time that he faces this guy or someone of that caliber, he's going to be more prepared. He's not going to have that whole almost starstruck sort of thing. Because you know as well as I do, players come with this aura about them, and it's almost like, oh, I don't know if I could touch this dude. It's like, nah, I'd much rather you at least tried.
Right.
So, yeah.
The plus side is he's going to have players like Billy Bowman Jr. and Xavier Watts at his backside if he ever needs to help, and then he have the smarts of Jesse Bates. So he's not like he's going to be on an island on his own. So I'm pretty sure Jeff Albrecht will scheme it up to where if he's going up against a player like Mike Evans, he has that backup, plan to where he gets that help over the top if need be. But I love the fact that he stuck him out there to get his feet wet, get a taste of the big leagues, and it didn't really show him what he needs to improve on, because I love his effort. He didn't give up. He didn't get his head down. And he went to the sideline. He started talking to Jeff Albrecht, and it's like he was being schooled and being developed on the spot, which I love. And that's the same thing that needs to happen over on the offensive side of the ball. Zach Robinson, he has to do that. I don't know if he's capable of doing that, but Zach Robinson has to continue to.
Are you think it's Zach Robinson going to stay though? You think he's going to be here?
I hope not. I hope not. To be honest, with this young team that we have to have proven developers. I mean, we have to have veteran coaches. I mean, you can't have an inexperienced offensive coordinator with players that you're trying to develop. It's just not if he gets a learning curve over the off season, hey, so be it. But I hope he's not. I really do. I mean, I hope somebody comes in with this new consulting firm that they're bringing in now. I know it's more of a money thing. They want to watch what Arthur Blank is spending his money on, right? So, and that's where he's getting his help at. But hopefully, bringing in a player who can, somebody like Matt Ryan, who knows it from the player side, and hopefully he have that impact, But you have to ask that question too, because Matt Ryan's his major in college was communication. So you have to wonder, like, hey, how much of a benefit to the team can he actually be? But he had that outlook from the player's point of view, so he might be able to, give some insight as to what needs to happen. Maybe, I don't know. It'll be interesting.
I can add to that. I can add to what you're saying. Now, yes, he has it from a player's point of view, but he also has it from an analysis point of view as well, where he has to watch different games, analyze those quarterbacks, the team, those teams that he knows that's going to make the playoffs, those teams that are contenders, those teams that are doing the thing that he needs to do to contend each year. And then from the podcasting perspective of things, he's being a little bit more vocal about what needs to happen with the Falcons, where he really can't say too much. They'll ask him, they'll go to him, and he always says his opinion.
Right.
But I think he's been holding his tongue a lot, and I feel he's not happy with what's happening here in Atlanta. Now, he said he didn't want to coach, but it's like you had to bring him in for a significant role for Matt Ryan to come up in here. But I said, now you're getting it from both aspects, former player and now analyzing other teams from a analysis standpoint, where you have to watch film and understand what's going on with each team, where he can bring that perspective in. It's like, okay, Broncos are doing this, Patriots are doing this, this is what wins games. So and like you said, he's a communicator, he's a leader. He was the one that led those player-led meetings. He will encourage these players to do so. It's like, yes, we got your coaching staff. We're going to get that together. But you also, as a player, need to take accountability and go up to your coach and say, hey, man, I shouldn't have Bijan talking about my influence is my high school coach and my fiance. It should be the man that's supposed to be telling me each and every day on that field to get it together. That's my influence. That's who influenced me. That's who I talk to about how to better my game.
Exactly.
And it boils down to what we were saying earlier on in the show is just the biggest port of call for improving as a franchise in 2026 is get guys in roles where you know that they can bring their specific skill set to boost the team in some sort of way. Having someone who is a front office guy but played the quarterback position means that he's, even if he's not officially paid to dissect that passing game, it's something that he's done at a high level for that long. So I mean, know what these guys are bringing to the table and use it accordingly. And again, Sonia, I can see the narrative for the whole coaching staff going, but Ulbricht's done enough to stay, in my opinion. Nate Ollie's done enough to stay, in my opinion.
Whole
so there's a few
staff.
flashes of good stuff there, but
here's the thing,
like,
too.
guys, you can see it too, what they're saying.
Yeah, true indeed. You know, and this is what we have to consider too. I would love for a coach to be able to come in, somebody like a Brian Flores, who comes in with a tremendous amount of, accountability and discipline, right? But you have to realize what will happen if we get rid of Raheem at this point. The new coach coming in might not hang on to the players that we would think would, that would add to this team. And it's the same thing about getting rid of Terry Fontenot. If we get rid of Terry Fontenot, everything that was built under Terry Fontenot, you might as well scrap it and be starting over. So we're looking at maybe 4, maybe 5, 6 years of saying what happened this year, building, and losing at the same time. So the question we need to ask ourselves, us as fans, are we ready to be in the same situation again next year, or the year after, or the year after that, 3 years, in succession? Are we that patient enough? We are not. So we have to really consider who we want to let go. And if you want to let go of anyone, start at the bottom and work your way up. And when I say start at the bottom, I mean start at offensive coordinator. And like I was trying to explain last night, there's not an offensive coordinator that I can think of, and I can be corrected, but that I can think of that had this amount of talent on the team, right, on the offensive side of the ball, and was not successful, especially in that Sean McVay play system, coaching system.
Yeah,
there's
and
not
especially not recently. I mean, to really dive in and find an offensive coordinator who's been that inept with the level of talent that he has at his disposal, you would have to really go back some. So yeah, to that point, I feel like you're 100% right. I feel like even if we don't burn the building down and start again, Z-Rob is definitely surplus to requirement at this point. He's shown that the level of adjustment, the level of just poor clock management, mediocre play calling, running the same ineffective plays that have shown that the defense has already shown they know how to stop. He's already shown that at this level he doesn't have the caliber or the level of knowledge and experience to be an OC at this level. So that's the biggest change that I would look at. That and as I say, special teams. Why devote a quarter of your 53-man roster to special teams players? When those guys are not capable of doing their job, and you're then waiting until week 16, 17 to get rid of that return guy, for instance.
Well, here's the thing that too, the I wouldn't be so quick to move on from Marquise either. I would tell you why. And what a lot of people haven't realized is that special teams was manned differently than it was the year before. Kadero Hodge wasn't on the field as much as we think he was on the field. He was not there. Casey Washington, he was not there. Casey Washington is still playing hurt. So they were not on the field as much as we think. Chris Blair is still not there. You know, we were missing some key players on that special team. Now, could they have played better? Of course, you know, but at the same time, you have to realize what you were missing. So you got to remember, we brought in 7 or is it 8 wide receivers. We lost some players on the special teams. So you have to realize they have to pay attention to what we missed from the year before. You know, because this season it was bad, yes, but it was bad more from the point of fielding the ball and getting our team in better starting position. Because it was just like with Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan could get you to where you wanted to go, but we was always in bad field position on the kickoff. We was always on this side of the 20 as opposed to this side. So I wouldn't be so quick to move on from Marquise. I mean, there were a lot of pieces missing. The way the team was, the special team was made up, it was totally different. So people were out of place. We saw even Bertrand, who was out there. I'm like, what for? You know, so he's one of the smallest guys on the team to be a linebacker, but he was out there. So I'm like, why? You know, so
I mean, you know well my feelings at this point about JD Bertrand. I feel like he's a strong safety masquerading as a linebacker. I feel like he's too small and a little bit too light in the booty. He's his first step is back, which is not what you want to see from a guy who's essentially trying to play Mike 2. It's not a great look. So again, maybe if someone wants to propose linebacker in the draft, that's a question that I could maybe look at as well. So, but no, I can see what you're saying. Injuries have hurt us a lot this year too, Emmanuel. So a lot of these questions are going to be harder to answer without seeing these guys in training at full capacity. With a full starting caliber, offensive or defensive front to obviously run behind. So as much as all of this is coming from knowledge and all that, we can't say definitively for perhaps even months yet where we're going to be come the start of off season. But I mean, it's something that we should all be used to at this point. Maggie, Emmanuel, you guys know what it's like. We don't get to have nice things.
Well, that's the point. We don't want to, we're kind of being used to it. You know what I mean? We are far better than what we look like, right? So the thing is, we have to start making the decisions that a lot of people don't want to address, like moving on from Cal Pitts, moving on from Troy Anderson, moving on from Bertrand, getting rid of these guys. Stop playing the hopeful game. If you're not performing for me in practice, you're not performing for me in the OTAs, you got to move on. So when Braylon Trice comes back,
that accountability, it needs to be with these players, you know, a coach that's going to kind of hold these players accountable. Like your production is not where it needs to be. Stop holding on and being friends with them. You can be a motivational speaker and all that, but I didn't like how that was going on.
Exactly.
Bottom line.
Like, there's nothing wrong with shouting out the things that are good and pointing out the things that are bad. And that's why I feel like a lot of people have enjoyed these shows so far this year. Is something that Des and I have always prided ourselves on, is we will give you all the nice things and glaze things up where necessary and give it its necessary shine and flowers and all that stuff. But we would be remiss to not tell you where the gaps are in this team.
Yeah. Sure.
So as I say, it's not always what you want to hear, but it's what you need to hear. So
update,
as I said, there's going to be a lot more work to do in the off season. And again,
touchdown Indiana.
Yeah.
So 16-0, they get a extra point.
Alabama, what's happening, man?
I know Georgia better getting in. They want to.
Right,
but no,
they better take care of their business.
As
I say before we do wind out, I'm going to take the chance while we're talking about like giving people their flowers and all the rest of it. To everyone down in the chat who's been watching the last 41 episodes, if you do want to join the Kilted Revolution, what we would say is that we pride ourselves here at AFNI of being the voice of all the fans. So if you do want to join us and be part of that whole ethos, and as Des and I always say, if you want to earn your kilt, then you want to pay attention in about 5 to 10 minutes time, because we'll be dropping you where you can get a hold of us all to come on board. And as I say, we're always looking for new panelists all around the world. We've reached out to some guys in the UK as well. So if you are watching in Britain and you are wanting to be a part of this, as I say, you can contact Maggie, you can contact myself, you can contact any of the frequent flyers who at this point have all got some tenure under their belt. And we love sharing the panels with these guys, as I say, is what really makes it special. And what keeps us coming back, despite all the bloody noses and the depression that goes with it. We will take the bruises and keep on rolling. So I would like to thank you guys, most of all down in the chat, but also everyone that's taken the time to share these panels with us. And tonight, Maggie, Emmanuel, especially on New Year's Day, thank you so much for taking the time to share it with me. As I say, especially with the Indiana-Alabama game on as well. So yeah, just thank you all so much. For
I'm talking and watching them, so I'm multitasking today.
No, as I say, it's something you need to do when you're a podcaster, especially with some of these games. It does keep you on your toes. And Des and I knew what we were doing. It's like, do we really want to do a show on a Saturday and go up against college football? But you can't say we're no brave. We're like, no, let's just do it. I don't care. But no, as I say, thank you all so much for the love and support through 2025. As I say, the Scottish Falcons solo YouTube channel is going to be coming very, very soon, along with all that good stuff, because there's going to be college ball, there's going to be wrestling coming. As I've warned you all in advance, you may even get to hear a little bit of my vocal talents, so don't say I didn't warn you. Because it's here in black and white, so to speak. So before we do quit out for the night, and I know that it's not just me, I know that across the board AFN's got a lot of things planned. So Emmanuel, I know you wanted to obviously you've got a lot of new shows coming, so I would like to throw my hat into the ring for you as well, just keep things growing all around. So if I can give you any help with getting things going and getting a wing on the new shows, just let me know. But in the meantime, if the people are looking to talk some birds with you, where can they find you, brother?
Oh, most certainly. First of all, for everybody that's watching, everybody in the chat, we're getting down to close to where the season is ending, but we're just getting started here in the Falcon content world. So it's going to be a lot to talk about. Everything from the draft, the pre-draft shows, the draft, the combine. So y'all log in. And AFN LLC, I mean, guys, this is where it's at. We're gonna come out with a whole bunch of information. The draft is just starting. It's just starting. I mean, the draft talk rather is just starting. So there's a whole lot of content, a whole lot for us to get into. So if you want to stay informed, I mean, come on in, tap in, join the Falcon Nation, and on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Matter of fact, I just posted my Instagram page up. So I mean, it's going to be a lot to come out, guys. I mean, if you don't want to miss it, any news dealing with the Falcons is right here at ALC.
Yeah, the man said it right. Like, we want to be the ASPN. We want to be your central hub for all things Falcons, wherever you are around the globe. So,
and not only just AFN pandemic, where they can find you too. So you said you started an Instagram channel. So, like, where can they find you?
I'm on Instagram. I had to change the page. My first page got taken down for some reason. I didn't even follow up to find out why. I just started another one. So that one is ATL_pandemic. Twitter is ATL. Atlanta Falcon Pandemic. Facebook is the same thing. Atlanta Falcon Pandemic. Same thing on YouTube. So, but it's like I said, and I'm always linked to Will here. So anytime I can try to catch him on. We always kind of like on the same wavelength, time link, and all that type of stuff. Because I'm normally up in the middle of the night, so and in the early wee mornings, so I kind of like catch his shows too. But guys, YouTube is where it's at for me for right now. But I'm going to start linking everything to my Facebook page, my Instagram page. I'm going to link everything up to my destination. So I even upgraded my StreamYard. So it's all good right here. We're gonna bring a whole lot of content in. I just got to find the time to get in and do the content. So when everybody's watching, And
That's it, brother.
yeah,
It's like it's one of the joys, but also one of the real grinds is trying to find all the hours to get up the content. And that's why, as I say, the beauty of it's being part of a network. So you ain't seen the last of either of us by a long shot, and the same for Maggie too. Obviously, your hiatus notwithstanding with the Ladybirds, who we're all looking forward to seeing back. I know you've got a lot in the pipeline too coming up. Sort of into the off season and all that good stuff. So, where can the people get at you when they want to get better informed, sis?
As far as me, you can follow me on Maggie T Productions. A lot of people don't know I am, well, now with the start of the 2026 year, I want to go ahead and push my, I'm a certified mental health coach, where I do help people kind of have better their life, organization, whatever you have issues with as far as your mental health. If you just, career wise, what have you, I'm your life coach that's going to kind of get you on track. Because of course, yes, we love football, but everybody is going through real issues at the same time, so it's like, I want to help my Falcons people be better people in the 2026. Even if you didn't go into it with a resolution, don't worry about it. You got a new start, a new day, a new life. You got breath in your lungs. Be thankful that you're here for that. So you got a new day to do it, start over again and make it work. Make it work. 2025 was in the past. Whatever you had in the past, beef, whatever, let it go.
Right.
You only live once. Live your life and stop holding on and procrastinating on your goals. Do it. Now's the time to do it now. But of course, that's cliche. But how will you make it if you don't start it? So
that's it.
Just do it.
And from
I don't care what I mean.
experience,
I'm one of the people that's like, I don't care about numbers. I don't care about this. Like, if I can change the life of one person, I'm happy with that. But as far as anything else, if you want to be a part of Atlanta Falcons Nation channel, you can hit me up, Maggie T Productions at Gmail or social media platforms, as well as I do have my Candid Room show that I'm actually going to start back up at the top of the year too, where I incorporate my mental health coaching into a conversation about everyday life. So that's a channel. You can check it out on YouTube as well if you want to hear some motivation. Go back and watch some previous episodes. I've had some great guests on there as well. I'm thinking about switching it back to Mondays though.
Too. It really is a chill sort of. It's a great medium to just sort of breathe in and let the stress of the day
get away from sport talk a little bit and unwind a little bit. So that's why I like to have that.
Just keep your feet up and as I say, it's been great so far, and we're all sitting on loggerheads waiting to see what you've got for us in 2026. So if you do want to be part of that, people, then you know what to do. But until then, as we say, thank you again. We wanted to get on today and give you guys a little bit more of the life and strife of what it means to be a Falcons fan. Guys, if you do have a couple of minutes extra once we close down the show, I'd appreciate it if you could stay on with me. But as I say, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for all the support through this year. We'll see you real soon. As I say, tune in Saturday, Sunday for more. Because we got to beat those Ents. Season ain't done quite yet. We still have a little bit of business left to handle. But before we do wrap up, never forget that here at the Scottish Falcons and AFNI, we love our ATL. We always will. And before we wish you good night, Dirty Bird faithful, never ever forget that pain is international, but so is passion. Thank you, panel. Thank you, chat. Thank you, everyone. Much love. AFNI out. Peace.